Hey everyone, it's diaperperv.
Hey, what's up? It's Livewire.
And today we're going to talk about starting your own ABDL munch. So first we should define the word munch and what is a munch. It's a word that's used in the kink sphere, and it is usually a gathering in a public place, usually a eating establishment, and it's for whatever special interest that you're into.
Yeah, sounds good. And it's really cool. All the like-minded individuals are together, but you're not just talking about that specific fetish. Anything could be communicated about and spoken to and different things like that.
Yeah, it's just pretty much like getting a bunch of people together for lunch and you just happen to have the same interests. So a munch is not a play party. A munch is not like a convention or an event like that. Play parties are usually vetted in a indoor space that's private, where you have freedom to dress however you want and do more things. But a munch is like at a restaurant or something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not specifically like a hookup event or even a dating pool. Sometimes that happens, and it's awesome when it does. It means you're doing things right, but that's not really the goal.
Yeah, like there isn't really vetting that comes when it comes to munches. It's a place where you would get vetted for maybe other things, like a private hangout or private play party.
Like a gateway.
Yeah. So it's just a casual hangout in a public space. So first, you should actually check if you have munches in your area or close to your area, and see if your city or area is in need of one.
That's a good idea, because you don't really want to compete, especially at specific times of one going on, because you're not really trying to make people make a choice of go to one or go to the other. It'd be great if there were at varied times, so people had a choice that would work with their schedule of which ones to attend.
Exactly. And if you're in a medium city and you already have a munch, then that's awesome. Then you should get involved with that one if you can make it.
There's all kinds of ways to get involved. You could just tell somebody and network and go, hey, I'm going to this. I thought maybe that you might want to go to it as well. So there's all kinds of ways to help.
So the first thing is picking a location. So I can't tell you what location to pick, and because I don't know your city or the boundaries within your city, but I could tell you how I picked my first one. So I picked a location that was off strip, that was easy for people to get to, and it was actually close to Changing Times Diaper Company. I thought that's a nice central location. It was in the city, and it was in a restaurant inside a casino. So I figured that it's better than, like, say, IHOP, like the local IHOP.
Right.
Because a lot of people might see their neighbors or coworkers in their neighborhood IHOP or Denny's. So I figured, okay, like locals don't really go to casino hotel locations, and this one had a decent menu that had entrees under $15.
Right.
So price point, you don't want to price people out of the food, like you can't be like a buffet that's $35 up or something.
I loved your rule there when you were getting a little bit off everybody's plate. Like, I didn't order anything, you just kind of remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Oh, yeah, no, but that's not like a munch rule. That's just what I do.
I know, but it was great. It was awesome.
No.
But I get what you're saying about the menu, because we don't know every single person's diet, but this was an affordable place. I mean, you don't want to go to a 5-star restaurant with a lunch. You want to go to something casual.
Yeah. Right, that everyone can maybe even just get a drink or get an appetizer or something.
It was kind of our own section, and nobody really had to speak in a hushed tone. They just got to talk normal and be free, but there was a lot of good respect acceptable behavior and politeness, and everything just went really super well.
Yes. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the only downside I see about like a seated restaurant place is that you can't, it's not conducive to like going around and mingling and meeting different people.
Right.
So then after that, I chose a park location and a potluck format because it was more casual, and then people, it's more conducive to like hanging out, playing board games, socializing, and having people participate instead of just being seated at one place. And that's kind of the sucky part. It's like I'm only talking to like these people across from me, and
right,
you know, and then you're in your little bubble versus not.
Yeah, the park location is awesome. People mingle about. They can walk out and get to the sunshine. There's a lake. They can do this. They can do that. There's a grill there.
Yeah, so I chose that particular park and that particular location on purpose. Number one, because it's kind of central and it's easy for people to get to, and it's big enough that you kind of can get lost in it, but everyone knows that park. And I picked that picnic area because it was shaded and it had the barbecue pits.
Mm-hmm. It's a great location. It really is, and it's kind of easy to get to. It's on some major streets, and so far people are just showing up, which is great, meaning that network is going great, or the word is getting out. I mean, when you have visitors from another country that walk up to your munch, you're doing something right. That is really, really cool.
Oh yeah, and that's not the first time too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So picking a time, I picked Sundays in the afternoon because I think for the majority of people, they work like kind of office-y hours. It means Vegas, there are people that work on the weekends. I will never make it to a munch, but you can't accommodate everyone, but you can try and get the majority of people. And I chose not Saturdays because a lot of Saturdays there's a lot of events going on. People want to spend it with their friends or family or partying, but Sunday is like a chill day, especially in the afternoon.
And you adjusted the time because it was getting super cold. Normally it starts at 12 noon, and we adjusted. It started at 1, and we adjusted an hour earlier to give us some more sunlight, because when the temperature drops, there's a big difference.
Yeah, but then we still don't get out of there until like 5:30. Like even if we started early, like we'll start the cleanup at 4, and then everyone's just hanging out anyways until like really late.
We like each other, and we like to hang out and talk. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's another reason why I wanted the park location, is because we're not like within those parameters of you know, staying too long at a restaurant and people getting upset or something.
Right, which came up actually.
Yeah. And I know some munches here in Vegas are at a bar, which is cool because then you could be casual, but it does exclude people 18 to 20.
Correct, yeah, that is true. And we want to include as many people and be as diverse and welcoming as possible, which is always good policy for any type of munch, inclusion.
Yeah, so the next one would be setting rules. And I mean, we don't really set rules or anything like that. Like, it's not a play party where there's like play going on.
General rules of being out in public. I mean, excessive drugs and alcohol, you know, wouldn't be welcomed anywhere, not just at a munch, but just general rules of being in public and the normal public guidelines, respecting boundaries. Pretty much we've had zero issues, and people just generally are very cool and nice to each other. And
I would say the only rule is to like what you're wearing, keep it like kind of discreet. Like obviously don't go with just your diaper or like I don't know.
And what do we have for you know what?
Oh, you mean diaper changes?
Yes.
So I like the park because we could set up our own tents for diaper changes. We actually have 2 tents.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's like a huge tent that you can stand up in and like a small tent.
That's the best part in our advertisement is diaperperv puts we'll have tents set up for you know what, wink, wink. You know, it's the best. We climbed in there when it was super cold, and it was really, really awesome.
Right, and you guys got warmed up.
Yes, we did.
And then some people came by to like, because they thought they were like homeless or something.
Right.
They saw the tents and they were going to give you food.
They were offering us food.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, you're with these people. Okay.
It was really cool.
Yeah, because I didn't know if they were there for the munch. I just saw some people go up to the tents and like,
Yeah.
I just wave at everybody, like at the munch. Like if it looks like they're looking over, I'm just like,
Yeah.
like some crazy person.
It's funny because everybody's listening for any crinkle telltale signs or any funny business going on. It's really cool.
What's funny business? Describe funny business.
You know, funny business, messing around in a tent in the privacy of the tent.
So I think the most important part is letting people know.
Right. I think that it's a great disservice if you're having a good time and you're not spreading the word. I mean, you can talk to a friend, you can invite somebody around. I invited somebody just by looking in a group and reading her profile and seeing that she was looking for events. So I reached out, and I even offered my phone number to not in a creepy way, just to assist them in case they got lost. And she showed up and had a great time, and that's sometimes was what it takes.
So the first one is Fetlife. The only bad thing is that no one who's not on Fetlife is gonna see it.
Right.
So what other places can you post it? I know Daily Diapers has a regional area by city, by state and city. Mm-hmm. So that's another place to post it. When you're posting on Fetlife, be sure to post it in your cities and states ABDL groups. Mm-hmm. Where else do I post it? Reddit?
Reddit. I know Discord is available, but we don't really post there or anything like that. I don't know how out people are with Facebook. For me personally, I keep those things separate. And so I myself would not post on Facebook, but I would reach out to people on Fetlife, and I have. But I think in the general guidelines of letting people know, you have to do it with some caution because you don't want to out anybody. So you have to be really careful of where you're going to network at. But, sometimes people might have this interest. Say we're going to an ABDL launch. You can just invite them along and tell them. I've invited friends along and told them, and they'd like to attend. And so far, schedules haven't meet up, but just communication.
Yeah, reach out to all the ABDLs in your city that you know,
right,
and give them the details and tell them to invite people that they would know as well. And where else can you post online? I mean, I have a following on lots of different social media. So I post it literally everywhere, on my YouTube community,
right,
on my Twitter, on my Tumblr.
Yeah.
And with the hopes of, if someone's in Nevada or in this general area, they'll see it.
Mm-hmm. And it works because we have great successful numbers, and you can tell everybody's having a good time and they're returning. And it's nice. It's really nice to see familiar faces and new faces.
Yeah, sometimes word just spreads. And I'm not even sure who gave them the info. But okay, here's something I do every month now is that I make a flyer, an online flyer, and I give it to people so then they can easily send that picture flyer to whoever.
That's pretty cool.
Instead of typing out all the freaking details with all the questions. It's let's just make one JPEG with all of the freaking info.
Right. What I do is I look in the Las Vegas ABDL groups, and if I see new people that have joined, I read their profile and I see what they're looking for. And then I'll message them and I'll include the link and just kind of message, hey, we have this munch going on. If you'd like to attend, you're more than welcome. And here's the details. And I just keep it short and simple and to the point. And I try to get a couple people every month. And some people do come out and some don't.
Yeah. So what do you think is a good, like, number for a munch? I mean, some munches are small. Like, when I tell people how many people come to our munches, like Las Vegas, they're like, oh my God, that's a lot. And I'm like, it is? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know because I only know ours.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with the numbers, and I would be happy with if 5 people came out and had a great time. I would be happy. But I don't want to cause like undue pressure of like it's not a race to like we're gonna get 50. I'd rather have 25 quality people who are having a good time than have 100 people just half-assing around and didn't want to be there. You know.
What does half-assing around mean?
It means like they just like they almost got dragged to the event, or they're not motivated to be there. They're just there. You know. It's just a term. I just mean that I would rather people happy to be there than try to compete with any kind of numbers of anybody else.
Yes, exactly. You know? Yeah. And I think engagement, like when you're at the munch, engagement is key. Maybe having an icebreaker game where everyone goes around in a circle and just says something about themselves, or having another game where you have to turn around and talk to a total stranger for 1 minute and get some facts about them.
At our munch, I mean, there's been Uno, and there's like some game called Caveman, and the person taught us to play, and
people bring like lots of different games. Yeah. So it's good to bring some board games if the place allows it.
And people bring food, and they bring drink, and some people may cook, or some people are coloring or sharing. There's a lot of sharing and giving going on. And that's really cool to see.
Yeah. But then ours is a potluck too, and maybe they may not start with a potluck, or they may start at like, a restaurant or something. But even at a restaurant, you can still bring some little games or things to share, like little gifts or stickers.
And one thing that I would say, if you're going to go to a restaurant, make sure you take care of the staff. Maybe even just go, hey, I'm going to be having this event here at your restaurant. That way you're not putting them out, or you're stressing their job. Maybe they need room. But if you tell them beforehand that, hey, you're going to be in this area for a little while, is that okay? And when it comes time to, like, give them a tip or something like that, don't forget them if they've, helped you out.
Yeah, I always try to warn the restaurant ahead of time if it's a restaurant place, and ask them, like, what am I allowed to bring in? Can I bring in, like, desserts or candies or, like, little things? I don't know.
You know what I like that you do?
What?
Is balloons. Because when you're walking in the park, or you're walking into the restaurant, it's already a little nerve-wracking, and you could be shy, or you might, and so those balloons really go, oh, that's them right there. That's really a good directional.
Really? Do you think people actually pay attention to it?
I do.
Because I feel like the balloons don't even work, because, like, the wind's blowing them, like, horizontally. Or one time I was walking with all my stuff, and the balloons, like left my hand during the walk, and I didn't even notice that until I got to the picnic tables. But I do try to get the same picnic area every single time.
Consistency is important.
Yes.
That way people are not having their schedule jumbled. It's expected. We try to get the second Sunday, or
whatever it is for you,
close to that, and hopefully your munch grows like ours did. I mean,
like, don't be discouraged if, like, on Fetlife, you don't see a lot of people click that they're going, because a lot of people don't do that.
Right. All you can do is just kind of put out all the details that you can.
Yeah.
Make it fun and be positive, because that's going to transcend your event. Write in a lot of details in there. You don't have to plan for every single event, but you could give ideas as in, hey, bring board games to share, or maybe bring some form of music, maybe a radio or something like that, to get people thinking, what could I bring and contribute to make this a success?
Yeah, that's a really good point, is to have it feel like it's theirs and they're helping with it.
Right, because they'll take ownership of it.
Yeah.
It's not just our munch, it's everybody's, because it's a community.
Yeah, and consistency is key. Like, have it at the same time, same place if you can every month, and so people will know when it is, and there's
Right.
no question. And then maybe next month they'll put it on their calendar. Okay, I think that's it.
We'll sign autographs. That's it.
What the fuck? I could sign people's diapers.
There you see. There you go.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna sign your diaper now.
Oh.
It's so wet.
Yeah. This can't be on camera.